Hi girls, today I'll be making chicken soup and I'm dedicating this video to my youngest daughter who absolutely loves chicken soup. And so when she heard I'm making chicken soup today, oh my gosh, you should have seen her face, how much it brightened. So hope one day when she grows up she'll watch this video which her mum made for her and she'll follow the video and make herself the chicken soup. But until then, I guess I'll be making her chicken soup. So these are the ingredients you'll be needing. I've got here Chinese salt, which is this, a teaspoon, normal salt, teaspoon, and half a teaspoon of black pepper. You're going to need half a tin of sweet corn, which I'm going to blend into a paste with a bit of water, or the water that comes in with the soup in the tin. To thicken the soup, I've got here 3 teaspoons and heaped. So when I mean heaped, I mean heaped teaspoon of cornstarch, not flat, heaped. And then I'm going to need 1 chicken piece here, boneless. You can have bones as well if you want, but you just have to pick the bones out afterwards. And then I'm going to use half a sachet of noodles. Any noodles, doesn't matter, just, you know, half a noodles. Right, so I've got my chopping board ready here. Get the chicken and I'm going to cut it into like pieces, big pieces, because I'm going to boil this and then shred it as well, so it's easier to handle when it's into like cut into small pieces rather than one big piece, and it gets cooked faster as well. So to that, I'm going to get a bowl, a dish, add the chickens in, and then I've got here about 3 glasses of water, which I'm going to boil the chicken in. There you go. And then I'm going to add the teaspoon of salt, and then I'm going to boil that until it starts, you know, bubbling, until the chicken gets cooked. Right, cover it up and let it boil, and whilst that's boiling I'm going to do like start the rest of the process. I've got here the sweet corn, which I'm just going to empty in a jug just to make it a bit easier, and then with a blender, you could use a food processor if you want. I'm just going to blend that into a smooth pulp. It doesn't have to be smooth, but it's best if it is. Like that. You can find ready-made pulp sweet corn in tin already, but I couldn't find any, so I'm just using a normal sweet corn tin. Right, that should do. If you want it more finer than that, add a bit of water and then, you know, pulp it again, but that should be fine. Now that's done, put that aside. There we go. And I'm going to get the cornstarch and I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons of water and gently mix that until it gets like a smooth paste. It's going to stick to the bottom, so yeah, just mix it like that, and we're going to need that nearly at the end of the soup when it's nearly done. And this is to thicken the soup. So if you want your soup a lot thick, add another teaspoon of cornstarch, and if you like it not that thick, you know, quite runny, a bit light, then 3 teaspoons should be enough. So now leave that aside. When you do get to use it at the end, you do have to mix it again because the cornstarch tend to go thicken and, you know, sit at the bottom. So let's leave that aside. Right girls, it's been about 12 to 13 minutes. I think it's done. The chicken's done. So what I'm going to do now is get the chicken pieces out and put it in a bowl. Keep the water on heat still, continue, and I'm just going to shred those to pieces. I'm just going to let it cool down a bit, and then once it's cooled, I'm just going to like shred it. And in the meantime, get your noodles. You don't need a sachet, and just add half of it and leave it to cook in low heat in the water. I'll get back to that later. So wait till that cools down, and once it's gone cool down, just shred it. So with the help of a fork and knife, just shred it, because I can't wait for it to get cool down a bit. Right, and repeat this process with the rest of the chicken. Right, I'm in Bengali, guys. I ditched the fork and I went in all with my fingers. Bengalis do that. So once you've shredded them all, gosh, one piece makes a big amount of chicken, doesn't it? Wash your hands, and then you're gonna add them to your water. Right, chickens, the noodles already cooked. I mean, if you want, you could have added the whole packet of noodles. It's totally up to you. So add your chicken. Don't munch on them. Add them all. And then use hot boiling water and add more water to the pan. Like that much should do. About 2 glasses. Put the flame back on high. And then just cover it and cook that for about a minute till it boils fully. Right, a minute's passed and the chickens are boiling. Now add your sweet corn to the boiling water. Give it a mix. Now at this stage, taste a bit of it to see if there's enough salt, but do be careful because this is hot, boiling hot. If it needs a bit more salt, add salt, but that's fine. And then I'm gonna add the 1 teaspoon of Chinese salt and half a teaspoon of black pepper. Mix them. Let it come to a boil again. And the next stage is to add the cornstarch to thicken the soup. And it's nearly done. Okay girls, now that it started boiling again, I'm gonna add the cornstarch. See, can you see? I only added half a packet of noodles and it's like such a big amount there. So get your cornstarch, give it another mix because everything's settled at the bottom like that. And slowly add them to your soup. And watch how the soup thickens slowly. Right, my soup isn't exactly as thick as I wanted, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to add another teaspoon of cornstarch and mix it with water. And then mix it. And that's nearly the end of the soup. There's only one thing left to do, which is add an egg. Now, if any of you guys don't like egg or allergic to eggs, you know, don't add that bit. Don't add the eggs. It doesn't matter, but obviously if you're not, then add it because it adds more texture to the soup. Right, get an egg. And just break it up like this, and then very, very slowly add it to your soup, and at the same time mix it as well, and add a small amount at a time like that. Otherwise you're gonna have a big lump of egg. Now normally with this recipe, after this is done, I fry vegetable oil in a different saucepan, and when it's boiled I add it to the soup. But I want this to be a healthy soup, so I'm going to skip the oil and just leave it as this. See, the soup's gone more thicker than before, and the white things are the eggs, and it just looks much better when you add a little bit at a time. And you know, you can see the eggs, small pieces instead of a big fat lump. And there you guys, how easy was that? So there you are guys, chicken soup ready to eat. Now this is a very light, subtle soup with no spice at all, so it's very good for children. It's very healthy as well, and I know my daughter's going to be really, really happy with tonight's supper. And it's actually very good for my grandson. I've got a grandson who is 2 years old and he's still learning new food. So this is really good for him, no spice at all, and I just actually can't wait for him to come over and try this. So daughter-in-law, if you're watching my video, send my grandson over. I've got soup ready for him. So girls, do try this soup, making it. It's very easy as you've seen it. It's good for snacks. You can have it with baguettes, toast, you know, or just soup on its own. And you can make it and just put it in the fridge. Don't finish it all in one. So have a go, guys. And enjoy. And think of me when you're having it.